What is good, bro? Welcome back to the video. This is UFC 329 ball knowledge. Let's get right into it. But this main event stinks. This main event sucks. Other than the fact that it's a good fight and it's a fun fight, it's a money fight, and it really doesn't mean anything for the rankings. Conor McGregor has been washed. He's been washed forever. He hasn't fought in 5 years. He hasn't been good in like 10 years. The only reason he got a win over Cowboy Cerrone was because that was the fossils of Cowboy Cerrone, but Conor McGregor is still going to be a dangerous fighter for the first 6 or 7 minutes of the fight. Still a dangerous guy early on, but I think Max Holloway is going to dance around him here. Second or third round KO. Max Holloway's got very devastating leg kicks, which Conor McGregor has never been able to defend well. Conor can't really fight longer than a round or two at a high pace before he gets very flat-footed. That's where I think that Max Holloway is going to break him down. I don't understand why Conor would even take this fight. Max Holloway is of a way higher caliber than Conor McGregor at this stage in his career, in my opinion. Even though Max Holloway might be falling off a little, Conor McGregor is not even really a fighter anymore. So the fact that he's getting a shot against the top 5 lightweight in the world is kind of jarring to me. Conor McGregor and Max Holloway are fighting at 170. A lot of people are kind of getting psyoped with this into thinking that McGregor is going to carry some otherworldly power. Conor McGregor is the guy who's been out of shape more than Max Holloway, if anything. Conor McGregor has been out on cocaine benders and he's been lifting weights, guys. While doing that, Max Holloway has amassed, I think, nearly 10 fights since Conor McGregor's last fight. Really don't think that this is going to bode well for Conor McGregor, but he could look good in round one. He's definitely going to come out there, looking insane. And the truth is that now that Conor McGregor looks crazy, that's how we know that he's washed. Because in his prime, Conor was a guy who would be zen. He would be like straight faced. You couldn't even tell that the pressure was affecting him. In his last fight versus Dustin Poirier in the trilogy, he came out there, looking like a bat out of hell. He looked like, a marauder on Spice from the Viking ages. Those guys who would eat mushrooms and get themselves ready to just like kill and red eagle 4 people, blood eagle or whatever it's called. So Conor McGregor just looks like a psycho nowadays, and I don't think that he's really in it to win it. I think this is a payday more than anything. So give me Max Holloway here by second or third round TKO. Up next, we've got probably the funniest fight of all time. The funniest lightweight classes fight of all time, because I don't think that this fight might actually compete with some heavyweight funny bangers. This fight is going to be awesome to watch. In terms of a prediction, there's not a confident bone in my body into who to pick. BSD, Benoit Saint Denis, the God of War, really has no skills in MMA. He's a barbarian. He runs at you, and some people can handle it and some people can't on the feet. Most people can't handle that kind of pressure on the feet. He's got okay, hands. He throws looping punches and some straight hands. He has a nice body kick, but it's not really technical. It's just very powerful. The open stance body kick doesn't have very good entries for takedowns, if I'm being honest. He leaves his neck on a silver platter. BSD was throwing up like 360, jelly layups, trying to just get anything on BSD's neck, any kind of guillotine in their fight. And Dan Hooker was trying for guillotines as well. He was being very successful with it initially, and he was also successful with the body kick. But we've seen Dan Hooker do that to grapplers regardless. I'm getting too into this, too into the weeds. So I could definitely see Paddy Pimblett latching up a kind of choke or maybe getting a back take from that. I would not be surprised because Paddy Pimblett is a good reactive grappler. He is not a good proactive grappler though. That's one thing. Paddy Pimblett does not shoot takedowns very well or anything, so I'm not worried about BSD getting taken down. Paddy Pimblett on the feet has decent striking. He's actually kind of good at range. He has some decent leg kicks as long as he doesn't throw them naked like he did in the Chandler fight, which is what got him caught. But he has nice, some nice kicks. He has very nice knees up the middle. He has some nice straight punches. But what worries me about Paddy Pimblett is that he's just not a solid striker. Most strikers, they're very solid in their stance, but Paddy Pimblett is like flimsy in there. He has his neck stuck out at a weird angle. He gets pressure to his back so easily, which is where BSD thrives, is against the fence. I think that ultimately Paddy's just going to be getting backed up a lot. BSD is going to get him in the clinch where he has some very nice shots. I think he's going to catch him on the exits where Pimblett is circling out looking like a fish out of water. Literally like trudging out of range very slowly. I'm going to take BSD. I think he can land the shot. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight actually went to a decision. Often when we see these fights with, 100% finish rates, it's going to be crazy. Both guys are either a bit timid or their game plans are just a bit different because they do want to avoid getting finished. So You know, I don't see that with BSD, but who knows? BSD by late finish, but listen, I'm not confident at all in this. A lot of people were saying that Patty was complete dog shit, and now they're switching up and saying BSD is actually the complete dog shit one. I think both these guys are actually just kind of a bit dog shit. So, you know, it's gonna be a super fun fight to watch. So give me BSD, not confident. For the feature fight of the card, we got Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. Corey Sandhagen likes to LARP a lot. Corey Sandhagen likes to LARP like this Sun Tzu, this studying the art of war, the guy who's gonna, you know, TJ won, but I burnt down his village, you know, like Lucas Tracy always says. He's not that guy, though. Corey Sandhagen has KOs over the chiniest guys in the division's history, in Marlon Moraes and Frankie Edgar. I really think that Mario Bautista is going to give him issues. Corey Sandhagen on the feet was getting he was getting Georgian problems from Merab Dvalishvili, who's not known for his striking, guys. I think that Mario Bautista, while he's good on the feet, he's really only good on the feet. He's not that great. He does carry a bit of power, and not only that, he also he's the hammer in most of his fights. He's the one pushing the action, which is something that I love against Corey Sandhagen, who's a guy who, you know, he'll let the fax machine noises start playing in his head because he's too into the analysis and he starts getting paralyzed out there. I think the lights are going to get a bit too bright for Corey Sandhagen here. He's a very good fighter, though. I will give him that. He was a good fighter once as well, but I just don't think he's that guy anymore. On the ground, I know that Corey Sandhagen has fantastic takedown defense, but, you know, Mario Bautista, I think that he's going to have he not only has the wrestling, but I see his back take is very effective. And I think that he might be able to replicate what Aljo did. Maybe not to find a finish, but just to get the back and maybe hold Corey there for the rest of the round. So definitely a close one. I don't see this fight being very much like fireworks or anything. I think this will probably be the slowest fight on the main card, but I think this is going to be technically one of the best fights on the card. So give me Mario Bautista by close decision here. Up next for the next fight on the card, we've got Brandon Royval versus Loner Kavanagh, flyweight banger. Loner Kavanagh is one of the best strikers at flyweight right now. Super tight, crisp, and quick boxing. He carries power when he wants to throw with power, but I don't think he should against Royval. We saw against Charles Johnson, what led him to getting finished is he threw with too much gas in every shot. When you're trying to land a KO every single time on your opponent, you are going to gas yourself out. And against Charles Johnson, you know, lanky guy, awkward guy, he learned his lesson in that fight. And, you know, I really think that the game plan of Charles Johnson to kind of cockroach your way to a win here is the only game plan for Royval as well. I think Loner Kavanagh is either going to get a quick finish or he's going to have a dominant decision here. His leg kicks are superb and he's going to chop down Royval. So even if Royval comes in looking a bit better than he did versus Cap, he's going to get slowed down right away. And there are questions about Brandon Royval. Is he washed? Is he chinny now? He got KO'd by Cap in his last fight, who I know Cap is on Compound V, and he has a boob from it. But regardless, I still think that Brandon Royval, he's not only he's getting mileage in his fights, but he's getting touched more than ever. Pause. But he is getting touched more than ever. He doesn't have any really technical striking to begin with. He's always been a gritster in there. And he's a fighter who relies on his chin and his lack of defense to kind of carry him through these fights. And I think that against a sniper like Loner Kavanagh, that's bad news. So I think Kavanagh is either going to work him with the leg kicks early and find one shot and finish him in the first round, or I think he's going to dominate Brandon Royval to a decision, and it'll be a close fight, but it'll be a Loner Kavanagh masterclass. Like, every round he wins, even though the rounds themselves are close. Way younger fighter. He is very short compared to Brandon Royval, but we saw Joshua Van land big shots on Brandon Royval. So give me Loner Kavanagh here, and give me Loner Kavanagh confidently against Brandon Royval. We got King Green versus Terrence McKinney. Listen, Terrence, you've never danced this dance before, buddy, and King Green is going to knock you out cold. King Green is going to knock this guy out cold. King Green is a different level than these guys that Terrence McKinney's been fighting. Terrence McKinney is coming off a win against Kyle Nelson. I'm Canadian, and Kyle Nelson is one of the worst Canadian fighters of all time, okay? Kyle Nelson is a complete pushover in nearly all of his fights. Even in his losses, T-Rex is not losing to guys of King Green's level. I understand that King Green is a bit chinny and he keeps his hands down, but he's so much more experienced than Terrence McKinney that he's seen this threat before, guys. He's seen fast people who can finish fights in one round. Terrence McKinney is not this extremely technical or accurate striker like a Mauricio Rufy, who will just put a clean shot on King Green. He's going to back King Green up, and then he's just going to go crazy. And I think that King Green is going to control that chaos. I think it's going to be essential for him to take advantage of the fact that Terrence McKinney is a quick pumper, as diagnosed by King Green himself, Dr. Green. I think that Terrence McKinney is going to end up gassing himself out because he's going to go crazy. And then King Green is just going to look at him. He's going to slip his punch. He's going to go, he's going to hit the Marab. And then he's going to go, what? And he's going to point at him. And then doing that, I'm telling you guys, if you don't train, when a guy starts doing that shit to you, bro, that is like exhausting and that is demoralizing. And I know that Terrence McKinney, he's a very fit guy, but I know that mentally he does, I don't want to like fucking say anything about the guy, but mentally he can be conquered. And King Green is a dude who will break you mentally in there. So give me King Green to knock the spit out of Terrence McKinney's mouth in rounds 2 or 3. I think round 2. Bobby Green's beating his ass. He's putting an old-fashioned hood-style ass whooping on him. As for the prelim opener of the night, we've got Robert Whittaker versus Nikita Krylov. Kind of a tough fight to call. Robert Whittaker, he's an ethical fighter, but we really don't know much about where he stands anymore, especially moving up a division, because he has kind of looked washed in his last fights. I think that Nikita Krylov is kind of a perennially underrated guy, and I think I might pick Krylov here. Actually, I don't know. I really don't. I might fence it on this fight, guys, because Robert Whittaker has the lighter man skill. And I was going to say that he has no power threat for Nikita to worry about. But the fact that he has no power threat kind of makes me a bit more confident that he's more skilled. And he's going to be able to deal with all of Nikita's weapons and maybe just ping him up on the feet and defend the takedowns. But how do you not? How do you not like Robert Whittaker, guys? Nikita Krylov, as I said, underrated guy. He's got good grappling. He got a nice win in his last fight. Honestly, dominated Modestas Bukauskas, but I think Modestas Bukauskas is a level below the Robert Whittakers of the world. I don't think that Robert Whittaker is there to be dominated on the ground, and I think that Robert Whittaker is going to be able to find the right shots on the feet to win a decision here, and we're going to have a nice little Robert Whittaker ole ole fest on the prelims. I don't know, but and give me Robert Whittaker just because I just think he's gonna get him. Gable Stevenson versus Alicia Ellison, a minus 3,000 favorite. There's a universe where the Snack Panther is actually gonna win this fight because Gable Stevenson is just barely an MMA fighter. He's only lost to Brando Pericic, but he's never fought in the UFC. This guy is like, it's crazy. It's crazy how the UFC protects these guys. Gable Stevenson is actually a very infamous engineer. He invented a new type of attraction on a roller coaster. It's this new maneuver that roller coasters can do called a loophole. Just search up Gable Stevenson loophole. But for some reason, all these guys like Gable Stevenson, McGregor, all these guys who do weird, questionable things, Pereira, everyone who has like a case or something or has done something wrong, they get protected by the UFC. So I guess I'm going to pick Gable Stevenson, but this guy's not good at MMA. He has a lot of holes in his game. I've watched his 3 fights. I'm definitely an improving fighter just because he's such an athlete. I think that he'll get fraud checked by like a Louis Sutherland and Alicia Ellison. Alicia Ellison's got a shot, man. Alicia Ellison's got a shot in this fight. Don't get me wrong. Plus 2,000 underdog is crazy. That's ridiculous. But I do think that Gable Stevenson, they gave him this fight because they know that he can win it. So just give me Gable. As for the other fights on the card, Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez, that's a banger. I think that Adrian Yanez has got the boxing advantage. Cody Garbrandt has never really had a good, he had good boxing, good head movement, but never really a good 1-2. I think that Adrian Yanez is going to piece him up with a 1-2 down the middle. Probably KO him. I just think he's way more game on the feet. Should have beat Ricky Simon in his last fight. That was a robbery. Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka. Luke Riley is a fraud, and he's going to get fraud checked one day, but not yet. Because the truth is, Luke Riley has no space to develop in his game. Luke Riley is never going to get better. He's only going to get better with age, but unless he changes gyms, he's never going to get better. Because Luke Riley's coach for striking is Paddy Pimblett, guys. So he can only get so much better. Oh yeah, Luke Riley's bigger than him. So Luke Riley's huge. Kai Kamaka is going to make things a bit hard for him, but I definitely think Luke Riley will probably just get it done based on plot armor. Tracy Cortez versus Kong Wang. I have no idea. Kong Wang, I don't know if she's really about that life. Give me Tracy Cortez. Damian Pinas, versus Cesar Almeida. I'm a believer in Damian Pinas, and I like him, and I think he's fun. But I actually think that this is a really hard fight for him, and that Cesar Almeida has a ton of experience in the kickboxing. And as much as I like Pinas, he is kind of a guy who's only really got a 1-2 and an overhand. Call me crazy, but I think Cesar Almeida's got a real good chance of winning this fight. Gimme. Oof. It's a tough one. I think this is going to be a really good fight while it lasts. And a lot of people are saying Pinas by KO, but listen, Cesar Almeida underdog by KO is not crazy here. So I'm going to fence it, but listen, crazy cool fight. That's really looking forward to it. A fan of both fighters. That's some ball knowledge for UFC 329, guys. I am really looking forward to this fight card on Saturday. One of the more fun ones of the year. Definitely one of the cards that's got a ton of name value, but the main event is just a bit lacking in my opinion. So I'm gonna be sat for this fight. You know, definitely a few questionable, unethical fighters on this card, but anyways, if you guys are looking forward to this card, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any fights you disagree with me on. And yeah, just let me know literally anything you want in the comments. Fuck it. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you later, bro. This